Good morning. Well, let's see. It's morning in Texas. It is likely afternoon. Well, not likely. It is afternoon on the East Coast. But good morning. I'm Elizabeth Mahusai. For those of you who do not know me, and I am a senior leader in Premier. I'm in my 16th year. And I really wanted to give you a word of encouragement today as June 30th is the last day to early register for National Rally before that price goes up by $20. And I wanted to encourage you beyond just saying you should register for National Rally. I want to talk to you a little bit about where we find ourselves and kind of the mood, so to speak, and kind of mesh that with where I believe that we're going. Of course, there's a lot of things that are happening. There's a lot of planned happenings. Premier has given us some insight into some things that are coming. And that'll be announced at National Rally. So we all have great anticipation of exactly what that will be, what it will look like, how it will impact us, how it will, the difference that it will make in Premier. So as a result, because we don't know exactly what all of those things are, we find ourselves maybe in a couple of different ways of thinking. One being, I am encouraged. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what is coming. And then on the flip side of that, we might be in a place where we're concerned, we're fearful. We don't know exactly what's happening and what's coming and how that will impact us and what that will mean for us. And I want to give you a word of encouragement today that I believe that the goal is that each of us, not only individually, but as a group, would choose to swim downstream. And I want to explain to you what I mean by that. And the significance of how going to National Rally will help us in swimming downstream. You see, there is this thing called confluence. It's when two streams or rivers, bodies of water meet. And at the point of their meeting, there is something called confluence or conflux, depending on the words. I spent time, looking at those this morning because I wanted to be able to speak to them, more clearly in my encouragement to you. But when two bodies of water meet, there is something called confluence. So like the Missouri River meets the Mississippi River. And at that moment, at that place in time, there is confluence. And if you were to look that up on a Google search, it's interesting the different images that you will see. You will see light blue water mixing with dark blue water. You will see highly muddy water mixing with clearer water. Lots of sediment with water that has very little sediment. And it's a clear, there's somewhat of a clear demarcation, a line as they come together, and then they begin to do this in the water. And so I believe that's where we are in Premier. We've been on this track of where we're honoring God and we're enriching lives and we're serving people and we're offering our jewelry business, our jewelry, in homes, and and now we've added Facebook and other social media opportunities, and we've been moving along at a certain pace. And what's happening now is we're on this track, kind of like the Missouri, and we're getting ready to merge with the Mississippi. The Mississippi, in our case, is all of these announcements that are coming out at National Rally. They have definitively said we're going to have e-commerce and we're going to have a shopping cart, and they've given us some indication of things to come, but yet it's hazy. We're not exactly sure what that means and what that will look like and how it will affect us. And it's like that light blue water merging with that dark blue unknown water. And there is confluence. And it can cause us to move into a fearful mindset of what that would look like. You know, one of the things that in doing my research on confluence, that I read that really struck my attention was that when two bodies of water meet, here are some things that you can expect to see. You can expect the water to be deeper. You can expect the water, that area to be wider, and you can expect likely the water will be moving faster. And in a lot of the images that I saw, there was a swirling. You could see the water swirling, almost like you would see in a river that has rapids, you know, as it's moving in and around and over, not in, but over and around rocks. It creates the swirling effect. And so we have that when we have confluence. So here we are as a jeweler body. Some of us have been in longer than others. We've been on this track, and we're going to go to National Rally, and we're going to meet with a new ways of thinking, new technology, new opportunities. And there is going to be confluence. There is going to be this mixing, and that is why I believe it is so critically important that you attend National Rally, that you make it the highest priority in your business. Because here's what happens. If you find yourself in the midst of confluence, in a body of water, for example, where the current is strong, and you're being carried along at a pace that you are not comfortable with or you are not anticipating, what happens is panic can set in. This is why people drown when they get caught up, and why there's always all of these you know, when you're on a beach setting, you know, if undertow is present, there's constantly warnings about that, because it's so easy for panic to set in. And next thing you know, you are scrambling, looking for dry land. And what I want to encourage you is that by going to National Rally, it's going to give you some very important things. It's going to give you a bigger picture of where Premier is heading. It's going to give you a sense of confidence that we're still going to be about honoring God and enriching lives and serving people. And at the same time, we're going to have at our disposal new technologies to help us accomplish that very task. That's going to be important. It's going to prepare your heart and your mind for the confluence that will occur once all of this rolls out. And you know, and the cool part about that is when your heart and your mind is prepared, in other words, you have proper expectations, then you are able to work through the swirling, the deeper water, that sense of, okay, so what do I mean when I say deeper water? What would that be like in my metaphor? You know, new technology is going to come out, and some of us are going to go, oh my goodness, I have no idea. Like, I don't know anything about that. I don't have any experience with that. What am I going to do with that? And we're going to feel like someone who doesn't swim very well in deep water. And we are just thrashing our feet and our legs, trying to keep ourselves, our head above water so that we are not drowning. And that's what it's like. And and with my experience and background in technology, one of the things that I've seen is that when people enter into or get brought into a situation where there's new technology, new things to learn, there is this sense of, I'm drowning, like I don't know what to do and I need help and I feel inadequate. And so going to National Rally is going to prepare your heart and mind to be in that place of, you know what? I don't have all the answers. I don't know all of this technology, let's say, but I'm willing to learn, and I'm being provided with the resources that I need to be able to successfully utilize this in my business to do what? To honor God, to enrich lives, and to serve people. All of what is going to come out, whatever that is, it is going to assist us in accomplishing our primary purposes in Premier, to honor God, to enrich lives, and to serve people. And that's why you need to be at National Rally, because if you're at National Rally, what I believe is we're going to be much more equipped to swim downstream to successfully deal with the turbulence, the deep waters, the wider paths of being able to do things, the broader scope of all that's going to be available to us, the faster pace at which I believe will be able to grow, and we're going to be better prepared for that. So we're going to be strengthened for the swim downstream. I believe the challenge with not going to National Rally is that panic would set in, or fear might try to overtake us, and we just try to swim to the shore or to the bank of the river, and there we are watching everyone else go by, wondering, why can't that be me? And so this is the significance of going to National Rally, that you are able to swim downstream, that you are able to be prepared to accomplish that which is available to you. So let me leave you with this. As I was thinking about just some folks having called me this week and chatting with me about where we are and where we're going and the unknowns. Let's take e-commerce, for example. It occurred to me when I got into Premier, I held a show for a friend of mine, totally different direct selling company. It was products that were appropriate for the ages of our boys, which is why I chose to say yes to that. And I can remember that even back then, they had a catalog online, they had a shopping cart, and people had the ability to say, I want my order to benefit Elizabeth, And so there are people who have been in the direct selling industry for years and years and years who have had probably some of the things that Premier is going to be sharing with us. They have said e-commerce, and I know that's been around for a lot of companies for a long time. So one thing that I want you to be encouraged by is whatever we learn at National Rally, what you can know, I feel very confident, that there are going to be people who have already been in other companies who have already had access to these things, and when they choose to join Premier because they're looking for a great marketing plan, they're only going to know what Premier is at the moment they join. They're not going to know the last 32 years. They're not going to know the pre-National Rally Premier. They're going to know and expect what we're going to hear about at National Rally. And they're going to be excited. I have no doubt they're going to be excited about the tools that are at their disposal. And for those of us who have been in for a long time, may I say one last word of encouragement. I believe with all of my heart and my mind that we can honor God, enrich lives, and serve people, and use technology to do so. The fact that I am giving you this live video is a wonderful example of how the technology that we have available to us today allows us to fulfill the goal, the role that Andy and Joan created Premier to fill, honoring God, enriching lives, and serving people. May we continue to keep that at the forefront of our mind, as well as be open to all that is going to become available to us, to be willing to learn, to be willing to stretch, to be willing to ask for help. And that we would then be able to help other people come alongside us to have their needs met, and thoroughly use the technology with which we've been equipped to do so. Man, I hope to see you at National Rally. If you are on the fence, I pray this has moved you even just a little closer to saying yes, to making it happen, to sell something, to have a yard sale, to sell jewelry that's in your jewelry kit off the table in a sample sale, if that's what it takes to fund your being at National Rally. I cannot think of a more important national rally to attend, because as the stream that we're on meets the technology enriched stream that we're going to merge with, and the confluence occurs, that we would be empowered and strengthened to swim downstream and to bring a whole bunch of other people with us, so that they can know that God loves them, that God desires the best for them, and that Premier can meet a true need in their life. Be encouraged today. register for National Rally, get that extra savings, and I'm going to look forward to high-fiving you, to hugging your neck, to celebrating with you, and to then having the conversations that are going to happen afterwards as we look at how we're going to take all of these things that Premier provides for us and we fulfill the mission that Joan and Andy gave us, honoring God, enriching lives, and serving others. Have a great day.